Many of you guys know that we recently finished renovating our entire home, so now we have a little more free time to work on the fun projects. Something that's been on my mind for a little while, which might seem odd, is composting toilets. So we live on well water, and our well is powered by an electric pump in the well. Now if we lost power, we lose water. And if you lose water, you can't flush your toilet. So essentially, if the power goes out, or our toilet stops working. It's kind of a weird thing to think about, but it's true. So I was thinking it would be kind of cool to have a backup toilet that's just a composting toilet. There's a whole system about it. You can look it up. You can look up humanure. You can look up all kinds of composting toilets on YouTube. It might seem a little gross, but in an emergency, it's pretty handy. So anyway, I want to make one, and I'm going to try to make one. So to start my composting toilet system, I picked up this, a round toilet seat. It's a start. So that's the one part I'm not going to have to build. I'm going to be using the bucket method, which probably won't be this bucket, but basically you take a 5-gallon bucket and now we're going to make it pretty. We're going to make a wooden box for it to go in and hold it all together. But that's the concept. So like I said, you can look up the system online, but basically instead of water, you use a material, leaves, pine needles, sawdust, peat moss, whatever you got, and you cover in layers. And then when it's full, you would dump this into a dedicated humanure compost pile and let it break down over a 2-year period. And it's actually a pretty clean and efficient system from what I've seen. Now, this isn't our full-time thing. It's just an emergency backup toilet, so it'll be a fun experiment. So now that we got this part, let's get building the box. I'm going to try to make this as light as I can. It has to be portable, easy to move around. I'm going to get my layout traced out of how I want it to look, and then we'll cut it out and start with that. Okay, let me show you what I got. I decided that I wanted to build in a bin to hold sawdust. So this will be kind of next to the seat, and then you have your sawdust to dump in there. When it's done, this will be underneath here. So that's the layout. I'm trying to make it about as small as I can. I'm going 18 inches deep, 28 inches wide. I have some extra lines here because first I drew it this way. And then I realized I can get better use of the wood by drawing it this way. So I'm going to do one piece here, and that'll be bottom and top. It might not look like much, but you got to start somewhere. I'm starting to get the vision in my mind. Again, I'm not going to complicate it. It's going to be a wooden box. I'm also trying to keep in mind like how I'm going to get the bucket out. I've seen some online where the top flips up on hinges so you can lift it out. I don't really have any hinges. Again, simplicity. I'm trying to keep that in mind. So let me see what I can come up with. Okay, we're making progress. We got the top, the bottom. Now, I'm going to go through my scrap wood and try to frame up some side supports. For the sides, I'm going to use this 1/4 inch plywood. I just feel like it'll be really lightweight. I want to keep this light. I don't want it to be too heavy. So I got these frames built. We got 3 of them, identical. I also pocket holed some short pocket holes on the tops and bottoms. The best way to explain this is just to show it. This is looking cool. Okay, it's coming together. Now that might not seem super strong yet, but once we get the skin on it, it's gonna strengthen it a lot. Let's start with the front. I am ready to attach these sides to start them. So we're going to be using some wood glue, brad nailer, and put all these skins on and square it up and just make it look really nice. Alright guys, check this out. It's looking really good. Got the sides on it. Just testing it out. I'm probably going to cap these off. That was my idea. Maybe getting some, not this, but getting some small trim. Putting it around there. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about it. But for now, I'm just going to work on this, the front door. This is going to be covering where the bucket goes. And I'm thinking about building a slide out unit that holds the bucket. And this is on the front. So this whole thing slides out like this. So I'm going to work on that, build a simple frame, attach it to the face. And I'm going to try to do it with very minimal hardware. I would love some drawer slides under it. So it, you know, does its thing. I don't have any. I don't want to spend money on this, so I'm just going to have a friction slide, and we'll test it out, and I could always add them later if I want to. I'm going to give you a sneak peek right now. It's almost done. It's basically done. Last night I worked hard getting it all trimmed out. I filled the holes with hole filler, and all morning I've been sanding and sanding this, and it's ready for paint. I know it looks really cool being wood, but I'm going to paint it. So I'm going to do that behind the scenes. I'll show you the finished product, but I wanted to show you the kind of trimmed out version. I'll be honest, I'm not feeling it. I kind of wish I didn't do the trim. I like the simple box look. I was just trying to cover up those plywood edges, and I don't know, I'm having mixed feelings. So let's hope this comes out good. I'll come back when it's painted, do the big reveal. This is getting exciting because the project is almost done. You can see we got it all painted up with gray paint. It looks really good. I wouldn't mind throwing a second coat on, but for now, one coat is looking pretty nice. The last thing I got to do is put a handle on this slide out. And I happen to have one leftover handle sitting around the barn, so I'm going to use it. And I'm going to put it here. You can see on the back of this, I actually put a block of wood in there to help support a handle. So I'm going to put a handle right here. Okay, I got my holes drilled. We're going to have a low handle. I think that'll be cool. But my screws are too long. So we're going to shorten the handle screws. Now I've shown this tip before, but it's worth repeating that if you have cabinet screws, cabinet handle screws that are too long, you can easily cut them with a basic pair of wire strippers. They have a feature on it, a screw cutting feature. You just screw it in there on the 832 thread side and squeeze the handle. Takes a little bit of force, but you can easily cut your screw shorter. The instructions say that you can just turn these. Oh, there it is, until they snap off. But this one wasn't snapping. There they are.
So it's done? That part?
Yeah, I think it's done. Okay. Well guys, project complete, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'll give you guys the toilet tour in a moment, but there it is, complete and finished. So now we have an emergency toilet. We can use it as a backup in a worst case scenario. I built it with entirely parts around the property. I didn't have to buy anything. This was all extra materials in our barn, and that's an extra plus, except for the toilet seat. I bought that. I had to brainstorm and work through some problems, but I came up with a good solution with very minimal hardware, no hinges, just a simple toilet box. Yeah, let me show you up close. So you guys can see I put the old garbage can in there and filled it with sawdust. I always have tons of this on the floor in the barn, so... Ew, there's a caterpillar in it. And on this side is our toilet bucket. And like I said, you do what you got to do, and then you can scoop some of this out and cover it up. And that's all there is to it. When the bucket's full, you bring it to the compost pile, and you're all done. So, happen to get a soft close seat, which is kind of neat.
And it was made in USA.
And now to change the bucket, we'll just slide this out. And we can lift the bucket right out of there. You guys can see I routed the groove in the bottom of the slider here, and that way the bucket is always exactly where I want it. So we'll put the new bucket in there, set it on in, and that's all there is to it. So I'm actually really liking that. That came out good. I also like this. I know I could have just made a wood bin on the side here and it would have been more efficient for space. The reason I did it like this is because I like this being removable because I can pop this out and go fill it. I don't have to bring the sawdust to the toilet. I can bring the bin to the sawdust and it's just easier to clean, fill, move, do whatever you want. And it just sits in there nicely. I know it will get dusty if it was to be used. You'd get sawdust all over the place. It's just the nature of the beast. You have to work with it. Like I said, this isn't going to be like an everyday thing. This is just a fun project and a backup in case we don't have water, we don't have access to a toilet for whatever reason, or if you really got to go and somebody's in the bathroom. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of a cool little box. I kept it as small and compact as I could. And I think I accomplished that. I could have shaved an extra inch or two between the two of them, but I don't want to be all creeping up on the bucket when you're sitting on the toilet, so I gave myself that extra 2 inches. I guess overall I'm happy with it. The paint I used is a floor paint, so it's actually made for floors and porches, outdoors. It's very durable, so it should hold up very well. You can wash it, you can scrub it. It's made to be walked on, so I used that. It's a little bit thin in some spots, so like I said, I could use a second coat, but I'm happy with it for what this is. At a pretty good, do I have to open it to sit on it? Is that a good sitting height for a toilet? It's actually about the same height as a toilet. It's cozy. So there's my first attempt at a compost toilet, and I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a little bit unusual, but this is how we learn and grow, is by trying new things. So, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll have another one coming soon. So, until next time, take care.
Bye.
Okay.